it's not impossible.
No.
It's not impossible. It's good. Average. So we gotta. I think the key here
Is to have fun no matter what.
No. No, I think the key for us is going to be we need to boat race one team.
Yeah.
We might need an 8.5.
Yeah.
You know, we might need a 9.
We're so capable of it. We need some gifts, but
Yeah, we just need to have one round here where we play well and the other team doesn't play great.
all right, let's fight hard. Hey, welcome to the Back Chatter Podcast, and welcome to Member Guest Season. I am Bryan. In a moment, you'll also hear the voice of my co-host Adam as we dive into part 1 of this 2-part Member Guest Podcast. Before we get going, I want to give 2 quick shout-outs. The first being to our friends at Titleist. They're not sponsors or official partners or anything like that, but we're thrilled to play their clubs and balls, and the folks that we've been fortunate enough to meet have always treated us so well. Whether or not they're going to want their names associated with our golf games after this 2-parter remains to be seen, but shout out to them. Also, shout out to the Golfer's Journal. Again, another brand that's not an official partner, but I've been a subscriber for years to their amazing quarterly magazine. In fact, I've got 18 of their 32 issues on my bookshelf to my left right now. And I'm so excited and honored to actually have a piece being published in issue 33, which should hit mailboxes around August 2025. About a year and a half ago, senior editor Tom Coyne asked if I would write a story about my son Parker, who passed away in 2019, and the role that golf played in our relationship and in my healing in the aftermath of his passing. And like I said, I was honored to do so. I've written quite a bit about Parker's passing online, but this piece was probably the most extensive and detailed writing that I've ever done about it. It also weaves in a little bit of my golf history too. I'm really excited for people to learn more about Parker, to hear his story. So watch for that issue if you are a Golfer's Journal subscriber. And I'm sure this fall you'll be able to buy single issue of issue 33 off of their website if you want. I'll certainly give you a heads up when that comes out. All right, with those shout outs out of the way, let's get to it. Ever since we started this season of Back Chatter, Adam and I did not plan on playing 2 member guests in the month of June. My event at Media Heights had been on the calendar for a while, but the Honeybrook member guest, which was 2 weeks later, was something we hadn't talked about. I had assumed Adam would be playing with his brother Grant, trying to follow up their 2023 win with another trophy to earn their father's unconditional love. Adam sort of assumed that too. But with the event just a few weeks away and Grant still not in possession of a plane ticket, there was suddenly a slight chance that I would join him at my old club in the unfamiliar role of Honeybrook guest. All of that was still very much up in the air as we arrived at Media Heights on the first Thursday in June to partake in an ancient Scottish ritual known as the member guest practice round. Teamed up with friends of the show, Steve and Jim, to round out our foursome, we played 18 holes of better ball in preparation for the 27 holes that would kick off the event the next day. There was a little bit of money on the line for gross and net winners, as well as cash for skins, of course, and while we didn't get any on-course audio, we did turn on the mics on the way home. All right, driving away from day 1 of the member guest, day 1 as in the practice round.
Right. Which is actually not day 1 of the member.
Well, they do call it a 3-day member guest.
Fair, okay.
In all the emails.
Okay,
so, and there was a little bit of prize money on the line today, and there were gross and net standings. Would you call what happened today a success or a failure?
I think today was a full success.
I completely agree.
Yeah. I think, and that's not just because we won some of the prize money. Okay, we won some, and that's nice. We won $132, Brian. So that's which I don't hate that. Don't get me wrong. But if we had not won a dime, I would have called today a success. Do you agree?
I agree, and I have a couple of reasons for that. I'm curious what your reasons are why you think it was a full success.
Well, there was the Yingling tap. So enjoyed that.
Yeah, on every tee box they had a tab of Yingling, and it was ice cold.
That's not true. That's right. That would have been a bigger success. But we had a good day anyway. Go ahead. You continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think the biggest reason I think today was a success is because we both generally played really well, which is, maybe the most on the nose thing ever, but. Mm-hmm. Neither of us were like trying to console the other one of like
not for one moment were we discouraged.
No. Which is great. That's not to say there weren't a few really bad shots in there today, because there were a few, but only a few. And
we both hit bad shots, but we ham and egged. So both of us had some bad holes.
Yeah.
I started off with a 7.
Yeah.
So I hit one out of bounds, and I'm going to say it. I'm going to say on mic what I said to you.
Please do.
I said I hit my first shot of the weekend out of bounds, and I said, Bryan, I'm not hitting another shot out of bounds this weekend.
You did say that.
And I did not today. I'm not hitting a shot out of bounds for the next 2 days.
I love this.
Okay? I want you to know that.
I love it. Yeah. You rebounded very nicely from that. Yeah, we can get into more of the little wins, but honestly, I think the headline for me today is when I opened the very nice pamphlet.
Oh, it is
a booklet even.
It's glossy.
Yeah.
First of all, I like that.
It is glossy. When I opened that to page 3 to look at the first flight, not only did I see our names at the top of the list,
which we debated, are we going to be in flight 1 or flight 2? We don't know.
Yeah, I had talked to somebody a few days earlier. They told me they were in flight 2 and what their handicaps were, and so then I was like, oh, we are probably going to be in flight 1 then. Not only were we in flight 1, not only are we the lowest combined handicap in flight 1, mm-hmm. It's the lowest by 4 strokes.
By 4 shots. We are the sticks. You're the sticks in this member guest. It's outrageous.
I said this to you on the course. There's a weird sense of pride that I took in seeing.
That's interesting, because I didn't feel like, as we've talked about it all day, there is a weird thing where you look around and you go, any team, you look at them and go, we're better than you. But like at the same time, I didn't know if you felt a pride in that.
I honestly, genuinely did. And to be clear, I'm not the best golfer on my team, and I am also not the second best golfer in the field. Like there's another plus in the field, and there's a guy in the 5th flight who's a 2.2 playing with a 20. So like there are there are a handful of lower handicap golfers than me in the field, but I'm among them, and teamed up with you, we're team number 1. And I don't know, if you would have asked me at any point up until like today, will you ever be the number 1 ranked team in a member guest? I would have said, of course not. No, and I don't know if there's just maybe not as many low handicaps at Meadia. I don't know if it's a big strategy thing where if you are low, then you better play with somebody who's a double digit. But I don't know. That's where we are, and even though it's going to make it maybe slightly more difficult this weekend, I kind of love it.
No, I'm a huge fan of it, actually. I didn't know where you stood on it. I'm really glad that you are leaning into it. And I don't know what would have been true at the Honeybrook member guest, or what will be true at the Honeybrook member guest, perhaps. Mm-hmm. But so I think I am the second. So a thing about this member guest is that you're playing off your lowest handicap in the last year.
Yeah, that's correct? A very, very important point. You're low from the last 12 months.
I am currently 1.4 playing off 0.1. And my 0.1 is second lowest in the field.
Yeah, and I'm currently an 8.0 playing off a 4.0 or something like that.
That's ideal. That's perfect.
It's not great. And I don't even know if I'm playing to the 8 right now. I mean, although...
You did today.
I did today. Today I was in the 70s. Now, granted, it was a better ball, so you weren't putting necessarily everything out on every hole. But today was my first time in the 70s at Meadia all year, so that was another reason why it was a success for me. It was pretty clearly my best round of the year, and I told you this towards the end of the round. Like, I felt like this was the most focused that I had been on the golf course. Me, Mr. I want to have fun. Golf is a social thing. And it is those things for me. But there was a level of focus today. Not nerves, not, feeling like the pressure was crazy or there were all these stakes. It was just a level of focus that I appreciated and I felt like helped me out. So I love that.
Yeah, I said this to you on the course. I don't need to tell you that I said it to you on the course.
Right.
I don't need to say that on mic. I could actually just say it again.
Yeah.
You know how they talk about, you try to raise the high end of your swing speed, right? You try to improve your top end.
Yeah, whatever your max is, you try to keep making it bigger and bigger.
Your max bigger so that when you're cruising, so that your cruising speed gets higher.
Yeah.
I feel that this year and last year, I've been playing almost exclusively casual rounds, like very casual rounds, and I have a hard time focusing in them, if I'm being honest. And then super competitive rounds. I'm playing this year. I'm not sure I've played 25 rounds of golf this year. It's probably not. It might not be 20.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think
it's not 20. And one of them was a U.S. Open. Like a quarter of them have been extremely competitive rounds that I really cared about.
Yeah.
Right? And this was the perfect level. We came in and we wanted to put in a good showing. We wanted to play well enough that I was focused. I had zero nerves today.
Yeah.
And it was this perfect hybrid of caring but not caring too much.
Was it a 3 hybrid or a 4 hybrid?
It was, Brian, I'm not old enough to carry 2 hybrids.
So I asked you to choose.
Mine's a 3 hybrid.
Fair.
So I'm really excited about this weekend because here's the thing. We said at the beginning of the round we turned at 1 under, finished at 1 under gross.
Yeah.
And we said, hey, we're gonna learn in a minute.
Yeah.
Whether we have a chance this weekend. And it's gonna be because we're a combined 4 something, right? And the next best team is a combined 8 something.
Yeah.
And we both played well. We ham and egged well.
Yep. I had 1 birdie. You had 4.
Yep. So we never doubled up birdies. We did everything we needed to do, and we shot 1 under. Okay, on a better ball, that's a decent better ball score. And I think if we had come and we'd finished in 6th place.
Yeah. Gross.
Yes, gross. We had no chance in the net. We knew we had no chance in the net. Literally, I said to you at one point, I went, "You're popping on this hole," and you went, "It doesn't matter."
Yeah.
And so,
to be clear, it will matter in match play.
Yes, but
tomorrow.
This was just a straight gross and net leaderboard, right?
Yep.
And so we shot 1 under with a double bogey. We both made double on the it was not our 16th hole, but on hole 16.
Yeah.
And we lost. So one team shot 2 under. We went T2.
Yeah, T2 today.
3 teams were gross under par, and it was like, okay, we are one of the best teams.
Yeah.
Like it's so anything with handicaps you question it, but we are absolutely one of the best teams. If one of us had made a par on 16, we would have won the gross outright.
Yeah.
And that's good.
And oh, by the way, 60 teams, 10 flights.
Yeah.
10 flights.
Yeah, we with a double bogey in better ball. we're T2 out of 60. So we belong at the top of that list.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about the most important thing about today?
Yeah, because it's skipping my mind what it is.
That I'm clean shaven. I don't have a beard for the first time in a long time. I made an aggressive mistake shaving this morning. I was trying to freehand trim my beard.
Yeah.
No guard. I thought I've done it 1,000 times. I caught it clean and I flushed it. and then I didn't even mourn. I just went, whoop, I guess we're going clean shaven.
Yeah.
So how old do I look, Brian? Do I look 15?
Well,
16?
no, I asked the car.
Sort of like a fat 16-year-old?
I told the cart girl that you were 19.
I'm going to say something.
That I'm going to have to edit out, probably.
You're probably going to have to edit it out, but there's no chance she's ever going to listen to this. That cart girl pulled one of the most incredible moves I've ever seen. And I've worked in the service industry for my whole life.
Yeah.
And so we were on our, fourth or fifth hole. And I said, you know what? I think I'm going to get a surf side.
Yeah.
And I said, and you said, love that for you. I said, do you want one? You said, yeah.
I do. I want a stateside.
Yeah, you want a stateside. And so I run over, grab us a couple drinks. I say, she hands us the drinks. I get a bag of chips as well.
Some Doritos.
Were
the Doritos $8? like they were in Arizona last year.
Yeah, that's where I literally rejected it. I went, no, thank you.
Oh, those barbecue chips.
Yes.
That's it.
And so she hands me 2 canned beverages and a bag of Doritos. I say, how much is that? And she goes,
I think she sees that you have a 20 in your hand.
Yes, I had a $20 bill in my hand ready to go.
Yeah.
And she went, 20 should cover it. She went, 20 should cover it. And I went, okay, perfect. And so I hand her the 20. And then she has this incredible strategy for outrageous tips where she says what she suggests what would cover the transaction.
Well, that's the thing. She said it's like 20 covers the items I bought, and that's it? Or does 20 cover the items I bought plus the tip? It's so vague, and that's the beauty of it.
I then was walking away, and I go, wait, did I not tip her?
Right.
Because 20 should cover it. And so, normally you tip on top of what covers it, right? And so I hand her the 20, and then I come back, and she goes, and I go, well, how much was everything?
Can you please answer my question?
And this is not a joke, she went, 13 or 14, no, I think 16. And so I realized that probably it was about 11. And I think it was about 11, but 20 would cover it. And you know what? And it did. And I think she got a $7 tip. And you know what? I'm proud of her.
Yeah.
I respect your ability to just... is she a little embarrassed by that? Probably. She probably made $400 today.
Yeah.
And that's great.
And because the beauty of 20 should cover it is that if 20 should cover it,
she might get 25.
25 definitely will cover it. And so there are guys who will be like, well, let me just go for that extra 5 here.
20 should cover it. Brilliant cart girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for her. And you to get back to how we started on this, you do not look 19. But did you notice that I maybe made a little less eye contact with you today than a normal day?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't. That makes me uncomfortable to hear now, though. I feel pretty deeply uncomfortable.
No, I'm joking, but it is a little jarring. All day, just a little jarring. But we've talked about this before, I think, on the Patreon, just about usually both of us have one day a year where either we decide to go clean shaven or we make a mistake and have to go clean shaven, and pretty much instantly we're like, oh, this is not better than
no, this is way worse.
Facial hair.
Did you know? I understand less eye contact. I think it's just because you don't know which chin to look at. And so it's hard. It's tough.
No, I honestly think it's good gamesmanship by you. I think it's going to disorient some of our playing opponents.
They're going to be like, who is this slug that we're playing?
He has incredibly deep blue eyes, though.
Yes, that is nice.
That's great.
It's the only thing saving this amorphous blob that is my face.
Do you feel if we play tomorrow like we played today, that puts us right in it?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't feel like, hey, no, if we're given at least 4 strokes to everybody, obviously it's 90% of the handicap, and then it's only half of that because you're playing 9-hole matches. But
right.
You don't feel with the strokes we need to actually be even better tomorrow?
No, I think so. I made 4 birdies today, so average 2 and 9. I think if I average 2 and 9, you're gonna probably get a stroke here and there.
Yeah, probably.
I don't, at least off some people. And I'm like, I think if I birdie 2 holes of 9 this for the weekend,
yeah,
I think we're right in it.
Yeah.
And I think that and I think you're gonna throw. So like, I think we've talked about your golf course, Media Heights, now like a good bit, and I feel very strongly different than I did the first couple times I saw it.
Yeah.
And so like I felt like it was a quirky, weird golf course, and I shot like 85 the first time I shot it, or the first time I played it, and I was like, oh man, this is a hard course. And the rating is low, and I'm like, oh, my handicap would be bad. And I'm like, I shot 78 today, I believe, but I had like a 7 on 1 after hitting that ball. I had like a 7, and then
I think you had 2 6s,
and then 2 6s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I could shoot a good score around here.
This feeling that we have right now after the practice round and just playing really good, solid golf today, I'm like, man, I want to feel this way tomorrow. Driving home so bad. Yeah. I feel pretty good. And I don't know what that's going to mean for tomorrow, but I like the way we played today, and I don't think there's any reason why we can't play like that tomorrow.
We just have to tomorrow, like, the shots that we're giving away, they don't matter at all in one sense. Obviously, they can burn us. There is not a hole that we can't win tomorrow. And therefore, we just need to grind.
Yeah.
This is a grinding situation. We need to go out there trying to win every single hole. I know how dumb that sounds out loud, but I believe it's the difference, is that kind of mindset.
All right. Well, it is 8:53 p.m., and exactly 12 hours from now, we will be about ready to tee off.
Our first 9-hole match on Friday was against the father-son combo of King Knox and his son Tyler. Wait, the guy's name is King, you might be asking? Yes, it is, and yes, he is. Quick history lesson here, because this is almost unbelievable. King Knox grew up chipping and putting around Media Heights in the early 1950s as a grade schooler. After winning the District 3 High School Golf Championship for Manheim Township in 1959, he went on to win the first of a record 8 Lanco amateur titles in 1962. The most impressive thing about those 8 titles? He did it in 4 different decades. Winning in 1962 as a 19-year-old, then 5 in a row from 1968 through 1972. Then he won his 7th in 1981, and finally, in 1992, a few months before his 40th birthday, he won number 8. Unsurprisingly, the Lanco Amateur Trophy now bears his name. You know what else bears his name? An opening birdie on the par 4 first hole against us in the member guest. His son Tyler, who's a few years older than me, also birdied the first hole. Knox is, of course, playing from the golds now at 82, but clearly they were going to bring a good fight to us, but we fought back. Adam's par won hole 2, and my par won hole 3, and suddenly we were 1 up. They tied it on the 4th, but Adam birdied the par 4 5th, putting us up 3 points to 2. It looked like the 6th hole would be our first tie, when I just missed a 24-foot birdie putt and got in for par, but Tyler had a 20-footer on the same line, and he jarred it, tying the match at 3. We halved holes 7 and 8, and then on hole 9, neither Adam nor I flushed our approaches into the green. I came up 5 feet short to a back pin. Adam left himself 40 feet for birdie. Tyler, unfortunately, did much better. His approach got to 3 feet, and it sealed the birdie and sealed the match. They won 5-4 and earned the bonus for the win, giving them 6 points, leaving us with only 4. In the cart immediately after, we were understandably deflated.
First match in the books, instant reaction.
It's too soon. Sorry, it's too soon.
I can't. It's too
soon. I can't. Yeah.
It's for the people, so I'll give you 3 seconds.
Screw the people. Screw the people. I can't do this yet. I'm so mad.
We took 4 of 10 points, which we said we knew coming in was an L. We said it 10 minutes ago that it would be an L, and it feels like an L, doesn't it?
It's worse than an L. I mean, we had 3 points through 5 holes, and then managed 1 more point in the final 4 holes. So that sucked.
Yeah,
it was not great. I hated that.
Yeah, he dropped a killer bomb on us on the 6th green to have the hole, or to take the hole rather, and I had a bad swing on 9. You had a bad swing in there at some point as well. It feels like 4 is the worst outcome that could have happened for that 9.
Yeah, that is the fewest points we could have scored. Absolutely. Oh, that hurts.
Where do we go from here?
Up, I hope. Gosh, that sucked.
No, the answer is lunch.
Wow.
Lunch and then up.
I wish we could get right back out there. I don't want to sit and think about this for an hour.
All right, not great spirits in the cart right now, but we're gonna fight.
By the way, as if King Knox isn't enough of a legend for his Lancaster County golf exploits, he's also been a member at Pine Valley, yeah, that Pine Valley, for over 50 years. Adam noticed that he had a Pine Valley member bag, and when we asked him about it, he told us the whole story, adding that a few years ago he got a very cool letter from the club letting him know he no longer needed to pay dues after 50 years of membership. A king indeed. Anyway, fresh off the frustrating match 1 loss, we ate lunch and hopped back out to the back 9 to play match 2, which started on the par 3 18th. But right away, it was clear the flashes of good play we showed in the opening 9 were not there. Neither of us made par on 1 and 2, and we were immediately down 2 points to 0. When I left a 10-foot birdie putt short on 3 and had to watch Phil drain his from 8 feet, the vibe went from bad to really bad. Adam's par on 4 halved the hole to momentarily stop the bleeding, but Zach birdied the next hole to put us down 4.5 to a half. This was becoming a boat race. I made birdie on the next hole, my first birdie of the day, to earn us a point, but they won the 8th hole with the birdie, and embarrassingly, they then won the final hole with a bogey. Yeah, a bogey. With 1 round to go, and storms looming very close on the radar, we drove back to the clubhouse to turn in our scorecard.
Disgusting. I don't want to talk right now, Adam. You talk.
So, if we had won the last hole of our first match, we would have had 6 points, right?
Going into match 2.
Going into match 2. So we wound up with 4. After match 2, we have total 6 points.
Yep.
We just got beat 8-2.
Yep.
I'm going to throw up, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm going to be... Okay, here's the thing. I'm at your member guest, okay? I shouldn't complain about a thing. You are hosting me at a private country club, you know, for a member guest. What a treat, right? I didn't have fun that round. I want you to know I didn't. Yeah. I didn't have fun.
I mean, if you would have told me that was fun, I would have questioned.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's a. Are we grateful we're playing golf?
I wasn't.
You know, so okay. No, but. Yeah, 8-2.
You want to hand yours in?
I'll hand this in for you. There you go. You got it. That was the sound of me signing for 2 points. Did we completely give it to them? No. They were 1 under gross for the 9. They played pretty well.
While getting some strokes.
While getting gift upon gift. The only hole we won, I made a birdie. It took a birdie. It's pretty bad.
I'm going to interject a quick note here because I think it's interesting, considering how things played out. You know, you play 5 matches in an event like this, so not every opponent gets your best. That's just how it works. Somebody does get your best, but then some team lucks out and gets your worst 9. At this point, we were 0-2 with only 6 points, and we felt like both teams we played pretty well. Turns out they did. Knowing how they finished, we didn't get their best 9 of the event, but we got both of their second best 9s. But the reason I bring this up is because as we sat there in the cart discussing what we needed to do to stay in this thing, we had no idea that in the 3 matches we had remaining, we were about to play against the best 9s that all 3 of those teams put together all week.
Are we out of this tournament?
Mathematically, I mean, no. Mathematically, no. Practically, yes. Emotionally, you tell me.
No, I mean, I think we've still got more golf to play. For one more match, we've got more golf to play than we have yet. I'm like, we need to go murder somebody.
Yeah.
And, you know, so if we get 8, if we go 8-2,
Yeah.
then suddenly, okay, we're at, 14, which we could have gone 6-4-4, and gotten to 14, and it wouldn't have been great, but we gotta go get to where it wouldn't have been a complete disaster.
All right. Well, let's go commit murder.
Our plans for first-degree felony were quickly thwarted by a crack of lightning that sounded so close, we did not wait for the horn to blow to drive in. We had each hit 2 shots on the first hole of our 3rd match, and even those hadn't gone well. We were already up against it. With Brett on in 2 and getting a stroke, I needed to get up and down from right of the green to make my stroke count and earn a half. But we drove in, and then the horn blew, and then the rain came, and the heavens opened like they often do in the summer. Within 20 minutes, it was clear that no matter how nice the weather might be on the other side of the storm, the course had taken on too much water. We would go home and play 3 matches on Saturday. On our drive home, we decided not to put any more despair on tape and waited until our drive in the next day to hit record.
I'd say Hobby Lobby's a slightly more fun home goods.
Okay. If you're wondering what we talk about on the way to golf matches, comparing Hobby Lobby to Home Goods. All right. Last day of member guests. We got 3 rounds today and not 2, and I think we would both agree that that's a good thing.
Oh, it's definitely better than, there's nothing that is good. But yes, us getting to play extra today rather than just continuing the funk we were in yesterday is definitely preferable.
Okay, at this point, we start going hole by hole through our losses, and I'm going to spare you from that. But I did want to include this clip about something that happened that first day.
That was a tough scene. The next hole, I think we pushed it, but you got berated by somebody for driving a green, so that wasn't fun.
Yeah, no, I got genuinely berated by that guy.
You did, but I love that you gave him a look, buddy. Is that it? Was it a look, buddy?
I said, okay, buddy.
Okay, buddy.
Okay, buddy. So he came at, what he did is he came at me with, like, so the first thing was like, hey, you got to wait for this green to clear. And I said, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't think you were still there. Then he came at me with 2 more versions of reprimand.
Yeah.
And on the 3rd one, I said, his last one was, he goes, I've been hit before. I said, okay, buddy, so have I.
Okay, buddy, so have I.
And that, but he backed off. He backed off with the okay, buddy.
It was a well-placed okay, buddy. In our defense, they were on that hole for 25 minutes. We waited at the top of the hill, and it took them forever. Now, they were waiting for the adjacent tee box to clear because somebody in their group had hit onto that tee box, and they needed to...
But we left the hill, so we drove out into the middle of the fairway.
Yeah.
We waited while they were on that green for 8-9 minutes.
Yeah.
Literally. And then they were around the hole, right? So like they were all within 10 feet.
Yeah.
And that's when we decided to drive back. We drive back. We don't hit first because why would we ever have the tee box? And other people hit. They're not going up there.
Right.
I hit third. So we're now 5 minutes after we pulled away.
Right.
And I hit. And we get up, and they're still there.
They're still on the green.
And he's coming off.
Not even walking off the green. They're still playing the hole.
Right. And
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So I did have some, you assuaged my fears.
Assuaged?
Assuaged.
I have no idea how to say that word.
Asiago?
But I did Asiago your fears.
Because I was like, I think he's the member. I'm like, I just buddied a member at Bryan's new club. But
Yeah, I asked another friend who was there. I'm like, do you know that guy? And he's like, I don't actually. So I think we're good. So we got 3 matches today. We are playing, I think 2 of the matches are against the 2 lowest teams in our thing, other than us. Of course, that's probably a function of the fact that we gave up a lot of points, but I mean, it's out there for us if we want to take it today. It's going to take a lot of work, but how you feeling?
I feel fine.
Yeah.
I feel like we play the other two low teams, which is a good thing, obviously. And then our first match is against one of the leading teams.
Yep.
So we obviously have to beat the leading team. I mean, that it doesn't matter. We got to win everything,
Yes.
But we got to, I think the key here
is to have fun no matter what.
No. No, I think the key for us is going to be we need to boat race one team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I said average 7, right? And it's like we might need an 8.5.
Yeah.
We might need a 9. Where it's like, okay, well now we can have a 6 and still average 7.
And we're so capable of it. We need some gifts, but
yeah, we just need to have one round, just like they had yesterday.
Yeah.
One round here where we play well, and the other team doesn't play great.
Yep.
Maybe someone will pull out and they'll give us a 10.
That's what it's come to. All right, let's fight hard.
All right.
Did we fight hard? Yes. Did it matter? No. We picked up where we left off after the lightning. I hit a great chip to 10 feet, but then just missed my 4 for 3 putt on that first hole to put us 1 down. But then I made a 30-footer for birdie on our second hole to square the match. Momentum felt like it might be swinging our way when Brett hit his drive under the trees right of 9 fairway, our third hole. But then he stuck his approach to 4 feet and made birdie. Dagger. We did not recover. Adam's par lost to Brett's stroke on 4. Neither of us could par 5 or 6. And then my par lost to Jeff's stroke on 7. It was 6 points to 1. We have the next hole with pars, and on our 9th hole, we walked up to the green knowing the huge stakes that rested on Adam's upcoming birdie putt. Now, I'm not talking about stakes for the member guest, of course. That was long gone at this point. I'm talking about stakes for our lives. We had set out to commit murder, and if Adam didn't pour in this 12-footer, it was about to happen. A double homicide where we drove our cart directly from the 6th green into the oncoming traffic on Route 222. Thankfully, Adam made the putt. All right, we just finished round 3. Picked up where we left off yesterday. While we did not play great, I shot 40, Adam shot 39. We were 1 over gross on the 9.
Yep.
And we got destroyed.
Destroyed.
I don't know what the word is.
It's disillusioning. It's the whole thing is... So, listen, we have not played great, okay? We're not playing great. I'm not pretending we're playing great. I played okay. You played okay.
Yeah.
We didn't hit lots of wayward shots. We had one double. We had a double, and we should have lost that hole, right?
Yeah, we both doubled the same hole, piping one out of bounds on one of the hardest driving holes, but still a bad look.
Oh, but that should be, you should lose that hole, right?
Yeah.
We lost a lot of other holes, and none of them did it feel like we should have lost them. They weren't making birdies.
No.
They were making, they were stroking us to death.
Yeah, pretty much. And even on the hole that we both doubled was probably the only hole we got a gift on.
Yeah,
And we wasted it.
Yeah, we wasted. But so we, this was a father-son team. Dad's getting a stroke on a 190-yard par 3 into a breeze downhill, tiny green. He knocked it to 15 feet.
Yeah.
And
my par was no good there.
No, par no good. As I'm standing on the tee. So on the tee, so he hits his shot, and so I said to you, I went, okay, so they won the hole. And then I said that to them jokingly, and they literally went like, well, you could knock it in. You could knock it in. And so we're sitting on the tee of a par 3.
Yeah.
You could knock it in. And I said, if I knock it in, he's got a putt to tie. So
yeah.
That's just what it felt like. I don't want to be the guy complaining, but about strokes, but it was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Yeah, I think I knew coming in, being number 1 in the flight, playing off the low handicap from the last 12 months, I think I knew that it was going to be difficult, but I think I underestimated how frustrating it was going to be out there, and that was dumb of me to underestimate that.
Look, member guests are what they are. Even if no one is fudging their handicaps at all, and certainly we weren't accusing anyone of doing that in this tournament, the handicap system itself isn't perfect. You just come in at whatever cap you have to play off of, you play the people in your flight, and you deal with the strokes. People have been doing that since old Tom Morris gave away the first member guest tee gift of a young spotless ram in the 1842 Carnoustie member guest. The system is what it is, but it doesn't mean it isn't frustrating at times. And in this particular format, playing off of a handicap from when we were playing our peak golf 10 months earlier, and then not playing well on top of that, well, let's just say it wasn't the most fun I've ever had on a golf course. Am I grateful for my health, my friendship with Adam, and the opportunity to play? Of course. But it was still frustrating. Do people who sandbag win member guests? Yes. Do people who don't fudge their handicaps at all win member guests? Yeah, probably. The common thread with all member guest winners is that they play well. You have to play well to win, and we were not playing well. Nevertheless, we persisted. I opened match 4 with back-to-back pars to give us a 2-up lead, but then we gave it right back on the next 2. Then there was no blood on the next 4 holes, sending it tied 4-4 going into our last hole, the par 4 12th, where Adam had been yelled at for driving the green the day earlier. Adam and I both made pars, but it didn't matter. Dave hit his approach to about 4 inches, close enough that asking him to putt it would have made us look silly, even though it was a birdie. Another loss, this time 5-4. Stop me if you've heard this one before, but in match 5, we got a lead, blew the lead, got the lead back, and then had to settle for a 5-5 tie when we lost the last hole to a birdie. 5 matches, 4 losses and a tie, 0 wins. An embarrassingly impotent outcome. Neither of us wanted to talk about it, and I'm not sure you even want to hear us talk about it. But we pressed record anyway.
Well, I just hit record so we can do a post-mortem for the 2025 Media Heights member guests.
Yeah.
I do it hesitantly because I don't know what else there is to say that we didn't say the last 2 or 3 times we recorded to give updates. Describe the experience that you had at the member guest now that it's over.
Well, Bryan, you're a really good friend of mine, right?
Yep.
And you've been very generous to have me out here.
Yep.
And it's lovely. There goes the guy who yelled at me.
There he is.
The guy, the ponytail, who yelled at me.
Ponytail NRA Cup.
NRA Cup. I'm just glad I didn't say it. I'm glad I didn't okay buddy him twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
He was drinking out of an NRA tumbler at lunch today, and I definitely took note.
I've grown to like this golf course. So it's not you, it's me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just didn't play very good golf. We didn't play awful. We never played awful.
No.
We got annihilated. We just got annihilated.
In fact, one of our better rounds where we were 1 over gross for the 9, which again, is not something we're going to be writing home about. We'll be podcasting about it, but
Yeah. So we'll be.
that was like that was 7.5 to 2.5.
Yeah.
It was a debacle.
It was a combination of not playing great and getting handicapped to death.
Yeah.
And it was just. It's kind of funny to think back on our first match because when we were up. Were we up 3-1 in our first match?
Maybe.
So, I know we had 3 through 5 holes, and we only got 1 the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it just, I don't know if it affected. I don't know if we have to talk about whether or not we got in our own heads or anything like that, because it's like it snowballed so hard from there. Standing on the 9th tee where we, in our first round, where we knew we'd win 6-4 if we won the hole, we were still filled with hope, you know? Like we were really, we thought we were playing okay, and we were. I don't know. And then from there, it was just a cliff.
Yeah. This morning, that first round, we lost that 8-2.
We had 8 points through 3 matches.
So bad. Now in the 8-2 round, I don't know. I think we were like 4 over gross.
Yes, which is bad.
So that was terrible. It was bad.
Obviously.
It was
I'm
really
not
bad.
pretending it's not bad, but it's like I do feel like you said this. We got everyone's best.
Yeah.
Other people, so that team of younger guys. Who just smoked us yesterday.
Yeah.
They didn't hit a bad shot the entire 9. Apparently one of them shot 46 this morning, and we're seeing them around the golf course in ridiculous positions. It's like, yeah, well, we wouldn't have lost 8-2 to today then.
Yeah.
But man.
What if I told you at the beginning of the week neither of us would shoot a 38 or better on a 9?
I don't like this line of thinking because it really puts responsibility on us. And I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah. This is what a member guest is. It is a mix of how lucky do you get with how people play against you. It is a mix of your handicap and the stroke situation. So it is what it is. This was a particularly weird one because you do come in at your min handicap over the last 12 months. And I don't know. I felt very proud of us being the lowest handicap team at the beginning of the tournament. And I nearly felt embarrassed by that at moments today.
I think it actually takes a little bit. Like, I think everyone kind of understands that, like, it's hard to win handicap tournaments as a low handicap. I actually felt like I hit the ball okay for most of today, and the second match yesterday, I didn't feel that way. I felt like I was okay today.
Yeah.
How did you feel playing wise?
I told you on the course, like, it feels like I need to find a way in these marathon golf events to clear the cache of my brain, to like empty the RAM, because there were bad shots I hit today that weren't. I hit a few atrocious ones. I literally had a shank on the second to last hole. There were a few like bad shots where my reaction to it internally was like, I hate this. I hate this game. I hate being out here. And then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, what was that?
Yeah.
And it's just like the accumulation of missing spots and hitting bad shots, and then having a good hole, but losing the hole. And so, like, maybe I just need to be a little bit tougher in match play and learn how to grind and learn how to forget and put stuff in the past. But when I look back at the scores, I'm like, other than the terrible round we had where we both shot 43, not great, but, like, it felt a lot worse than that. So we tried to come in saying that, like, hey, yeah, we are the lowest handicap team, and we're going to push back against that. We're going to shock the world. I don't know if that's...
We did not shock the world.
No, we didn't shock the world.
We didn't shock anybody.
And I don't know that you want to come in and being like, well, you know what? The handicap situation is what it is. We're kind of screwed. I don't think that's helpful either. But this is what I should have expected this. If you don't play great, it's going to be very difficult to win matches.
Yeah, I just thought that it would be middling. You know, I thought my fear was middling, and we didn't middle. We sucked in terms of scores. In terms of, like, the match scores, it was not good.
No, the match scores were awful.
And so it's like, okay, that's tough. That's what was tough.
We ramble on and make excuses for about another 10 minutes. So again, I'll spare you and skip to the end.
But yeah, I don't know. The Honeybrook member guest?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Is in a couple weeks, 2 weeks?
Right.
Is there time to sign up for that still?
The sign-ups aren't even open yet.
Oh.
So yes, we have.
Do we want to do that? Should we? We've talked about it a little bit, but not a lot actually.
Probably. Do we want to field this again?
Do we want? Because you were going to maybe play it with Grant, and then you and Grant talked, and he wasn't sure that he wanted to come up, and you were like, "Listen, don't come up if you're not sure about it," and so he decided not to.
Yeah. So we have the opportunity to do it if we want to.
Yeah.
And hopefully in that one, so you this week have been an 8 playing as a 4. I've been a 2 playing as a 0.
Yep.
So in that, you know, I think we'd be a 2 and an 8.
Yeah.
And you know what? I like our chances of a 2 and an 8.
Yeah. And I am an 8. I am an 8.
Yes, but
I played like an 8 this weekend.
But we both have the potential. So you have the potential of a 4. I have the potential of a 0, and that's nice.
Yeah.
You know, that's... So we could, you know, either of us can shoot even par at Honeybrook any given day.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Adam, look at all these trees.
Look at all these trees. You know,
there's too many trees, right?
You know what's not at Honeybrook? All these trees.
Yeah. I feel like this course would not only play better and would have better conditions, but would just be more beautiful.
Yeah.
If there was 80% fewer trees.
Yeah, well, that's the new thing, right?
That's the new thing.
Yeah, this is a very traditional American golf course, you know?
So that was where we were at after the Media Heights member guest. Deflated, exhausted, frustrated, complaining about trees. And while we didn't know for sure if we would play in the Honeybrook member guest 2 weeks later, the thought was definitely out there.
All right, well, the shootout's about to happen, and I think I need to look at the calendar. I need to think about Honeybrook member guest.
Yeah.
But the thought of a member guest redemption story, and I literally have not played at Honeybrook at all this year, so it would kind of be fun to get back over there.
The next day, we officially signed up for the event at Honeybrook. Would it be a member guest redemption story or another failed attempt at a bag shatter win?
Adam, let the people know what's going on.
Bryan, we got 7.5 points. We now have a 3.5 point lead over second place. We are in fantastic. We could crap the bed pretty bad here and still have a chance.
Yeah.
We need to play. If we play okay, we win the flight.
Yeah.
If we play well, we win the flight by a lot.
Obviously, we want to keep momentum up. We want to keep playing well. But it is nice to know that we've got some margin. So.
Yep. We're enjoying our life.
Enjoying your life. That's what we're doing right now. Feels good. All right, let's finish the deal here.
We'll tell that full story in part 2 of member guest season in 2 days. That's right, coming Friday, Bag Chatter Season 3, Episode 8. Enjoy your life. We'll see you then. Special thanks to the staff at Media Heights for putting on an awesome member guest this year. Also, check out our merch store by clicking the store link at badchattergolf.com. We're trying to clear out the inventory that we have left, so you can save a whopping 50% off your entire order when you order 3 or more things and you use the code SUMMER50. That's SUMMER50. Also, be sure to check out the Golfer's Journal. Keep an eye out for my piece in issue 33. And of course, thanks again to all of you for listening to the pod. We really appreciate it. Look for episode 8 of season 3 later this week.